You can see on the screen I have a couple pictures. I want you to think in your head, have you ever been to either of these places that are shown in the picture? My guess is that you're probably going to say yes. I've been to Walmart or Fairway, or maybe you've even been to both. Now the one thing that both of these have in common is that if you go inside, you can always look at stuff and then walk out. But the one thing is this is where a lot of people go to get their needs and wants met. We've talked about needs and wants in junior achievement. We've also talked about it in social studies about our needs and wants. So in order to go to either of these stores, the one thing that you have to have is money. In order to get the stuff at the store, you have to have money to pay for those items. What we're going to talk about today is how to use money to buy things. Now, we're going to pretend that we have a school store. You can see here that I have a poster with some items that are available to buy. Today you're going to work on purchasing 2 items. Purchasing means that you're just going to go practice buying them with money. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to get to pick 2 items that you're wanting to buy. Just 2. We're not going to worry about 3 or 4. There might be more that you want to buy, but just for practice today we're going to work on buying 2 items. So to start here, I'm going to start kind of with an easier problem and then we'll work to a harder problem. First thing I'm going to buy is a crayon and then a piece of gum. Now with both of these, it tells you how much they cost. That's the important part. In order for us to know how much money we have to have, you need to know what the item is going to cost. You can see a crayon is 6 cents and a piece of gum is 2 cents. In order to figure out how much you're going to need altogether, you actually need to add these. So what we're going to do is we're going to practice making a word problem, and you're going to do the same thing today. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to say, I bought, and then you're going to think about, well, what did I buy? I bought a crayon, and I also bought a piece of gum. And you might say, well, I don't know how to spell those, but right here on the picture it tells you exactly how to spell them. So I bought a crayon and a piece of gum. Now, that's the first part of our story problem. The next thing is you need to tell me how much did you pay? So I paid, and then I'm going to put a blank for right now because let's figure out what this would cost. So you can see the crayon is 6 cents, piece of gum is 2 cents. Those are 2 important numbers that we're going to use. So again, I could write 6 cents and 2 cents. Now I'm going to add these together, and you might already know, hey, I know what that equals without even having to use fingers or use a number grid. I can just do that in my head. Now, this is kind of an easy problem. I said we'd start easy. We're starting with smaller numbers that you could probably add on your fingers. You could put up 6 fingers and then add 2 more fingers. You could use a number line to figure this problem out. But we're eventually going to get to some problems that are going to require you to use something that's got bigger numbers on it. For example, the number grid. So we're going to use the number grid to show you how to do this problem. So again, the first item costs 6 cents. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The second item costs 2 cents. So if I add 2 more, 1, 2, you can see here that I ended up on 8. So if we go back to that problem that we just did, you can see that 6 plus 2 from using the number grid equals a total of 8. Now I said we'd start with an easy problem, so let's go ahead and try and make a little bit tougher problem. So I'm going to get rid of these things. We're going to return these to the store. We don't need these anymore. So we're going to choose 2 different items. Now let's make it a little bit harder. Let's choose a pencil. It's a little more money. And then we'll choose an eraser. Now these are going to be a little bit different. Your story problem is going to be the same exact setup. You're going to have to say I bought, and then you're going to have to tell me what did you buy. So you bought a pencil and an eraser. That's the first part. The second part is I paid, and then I'm going to leave it blank. I forgot to fill it in on the last one. The last one was, it should have been said I paid 8 cents for the last one. This one's going to be different. Now, I bought a pencil and an eraser. I paid. You need to notice, well, how much did they both cost? The first one was 28 and the second one was 17. Now again, I said we're going to do harder ones so that it's one that you're going to have to use a number grid probably to figure out because you don't have 28 fingers. It's going to be tough to add 28 plus 17 using your fingers. So we're trying to figure out what does this equal so that I know how much money I have to pay. So 28 plus 17, we'll use number grid again. Remember those two numbers, 28 plus 17. You can always start at your first number. So we'll start at 28. The second number tells you how many hops you need to take. So 28 is where I'm going to start, and I'm going to take 17 hops. So again, we'll start this over. 28 is where we're going to start, and we're going to take 17 hops. So you can count with me in your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I ended at 45. So what I'm going to go back and do now is I'm going to go back and I'm going to write this number in that we need, which should be a total of 45 cents. Now, the last problem, we forgot to do this, so I'm going to go ahead and fix this. Instead of saying I paid blank, I paid 45 cents. So that's how you could make a story problem showing what items you bought from the store. Now what this is going to look like today, as you can see here, I have a practice book page for you guys to do story number 1, story number 2. So for example, this story that we just did, I'm going to go ahead and take this and put it over here on our page. So you can see here, it says that I bought a pencil and an eraser. Just like their problem. They drew the pictures. I'm just going to have you write the words. I bought a pencil and an eraser. I paid 45 cents. The number model is an important thing to remember. Well, what does that number model look like? Well, we kind of wrote it over here. 28 plus 17 equals 45. The one thing that I didn't have on those other ones is we would have 28 cents is an important part. So a little C with a line through it, plus 17 cents equals 45 cents. So that cent sign is important to let us know that we're working with money. So again, that's what we're going to practice today. You're going to have a practice book page. You can see here I have 2 stories that I need to write. I bought a blank and a blank, and then I paid blank. So you're going to have to figure out how much did you pay for those 2 items. And you're going to use this picture of the school store that is in your math practice book. So again, 2 problems showing how you can use money to buy items.